Just the schedule makes me sleepy. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, Jennifer, I'm gonna give it back to you. Oh, wait just a minute. Without video or whatever,
Thank
make
you.
sure it's good. And then I'll head out.
Okay, so you already made me the co-host, right? So I'll
Yes, I
just be in the
did.
background. Yep. So I'll just be in the background, just call my attention if you need anything, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, most everything is checking that chat button, because if I'm busy, I don't see it.
Right, right. Don't worry. I'll be monitoring the chat box.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
Hi, Carol Sue. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. You got decent weather today?
I have the most amazing roses outside right now. I don't know what happened with that cold that we had, but all of the foliage around Shreveport is unbelievably beautiful now. Some of the like, we have azalea bushes, which we're kind of famous for in this area, and the leaves are gone, but we have flowers. But the roses, the knockout roses, and I have David Austin roses, they look absolutely amazing. Like, I was afraid they weren't going to make it, because I just planted about 7 or 8 David Austin roses last year, and I was cutting them back while it was sleeting. It was beginning. And I thought, well, this will either do them in or absolutely stunning. They're beautiful.
Yeah, I've been waiting for months to see a glimpse of the old Jordan.
Well, the thing is, as long as the roots were established,
Did I say her name in the last shower?
had a good chance of taking
At least the
survival.
one that brought you back.
Let's not over exaggerate. I'm not 100%.
They're getting good sunlight now, and they look absolutely amazing. Welcome,
Yeah, that's
everybody.
right.
I see lots of people coming in.
Hi.
Come on in. I don't see many faces. There's Donna and Natalie. I see those faces. Marlene. There's Marlene. I wondered where Marlene was. I've got to move my little camera over so. Pat. Oh, we are missing a Marlene too. Bill from Get Set Up Support, and he is going to help me out by making sure that everybody is good with Zoom, that you can see, that you can hear. And also, if you have any things that you put in the chat button, if I don't happen to see it, he will help me out with that too. So thank you very much, Phil. And Sharon from Get Set Up Support is on too for a little bit. So if anybody has problems with your Zoom, you can put a little note in the chat, and they'll help you with that. I always tell everybody, I'm not the Zoom master. I'm not that great at Zoom. I'm learning with the rest of most of folks our age. I'm learning Zoom. But welcome. We have a few more people coming in. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. It's a beautiful Sunday in Shreveport, Louisiana. Do I have anybody from outside the US? Nobody today from outside the US? I'm very surprised. We usually have at least 1 or 2 people. Well, met before. I'm Jennifer. I'm a registered nurse here in Shreveport, but this is my class that I don't have to be a nurse. So it makes me really happy that I can get away. It's my therapy. I will encourage you to turn your cameras on. If you feel like you're having a bad hair day, just look at mine and you won't feel so bad. And understand that it's like that most of the time here in Shreveport. I am in the deep South in Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm guessing most of y'all are probably from further north. And if it's cold up there, I'm so sorry. It's a beautiful day here. It's so nice outside. I just came from
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina and it's a beautiful day.
Yeah, we've had some pretty bad weather. And so today is really welcome. Yesterday was beautiful and today is. We're really happy about it because we've had so much rain and cold. There's our other Marlene. Hi, Marlene. We got a couple of Marlenes today. So I am going to, let's see, last class, Carol, Sue, and Marlene for sure, and a few others. And I'm going to show you what I was working on last time. I did finish it up and put a hanger on it. So I'm just going to bring it back out to kind of show you what we did. For those of you who weren't here, I took some, actually most of it was wallpaper border and rolled it and used up, I had a ton of it vs home. So clearly I decided to use up a good bit of it. And this is kind of what it turned out like. If you can see.
Oh, that is beautiful.
I did add a little green in the middle. Little green, I did a little paper quilling and put in the middle of it, just cause. But if you can kind of see the colors, I was very fortunate because a lot of those wallpaper scraps kind of had the same color theme. So it was convenient that way. And it started out as a round cardboard from a frozen pizza. So save those cardboards from your frozen pizza. And I added a little piece of cardboard there and some jute rope so that it will hang. And because it's wallpaper, it's not really heavy. And it's all just, it's all glued with hot glue. So really simple. You don't have to use wallpaper. You could use a lot of different kinds of paper, but project, since I had added just a little bit of greenery in the middle, it's not a lot different. But then I did just add a little jute rope. You could add a ribbon or whatever you want to on it. But that's a really simple project. Now it turned out a lot bigger than I kind of anticipated. Pretty novel for old. So, and for those of you who have not met me, I do tend to look around my house and see what I have and what I can use to make something into. One of the reasons for that is because I just kind of have that creative mind. But the other one, of course, is because I hate shopping and I don't like to have to go to the store to get things. Did you have a question?
For one thing, you seem to be freezing, and every now and then I can't hear you. I don't know.
Yeah, you're
but
freezing over here too.
Yeah. But the question that I had is, I have this thing in my mind, but I never do anything with it. What do you do, or do you ever use like your toilet paper container, the end of the toilet paper container, or your paper towel for any of your activities?
Yes. Okay, I'm changing up my internet here too. I thought it was on one and it's on another, so maybe that will be better. So y'all let me know if it works out okay. I have used the toilet paper rolls for, I wish I had one in here. Actually, matter of fact, yesterday I was at an event downtown in Shreveport, and we were giving things away. And I had an expo that I had worked on for my business because I am a nurse. I have a care management business in Shreveport, and I was making some giveaways, and they kind of had a theme. And I used some toilet paper rolls and just squished in the ends. Before I did that, I put them in some shaving cream that had a little food coloring dropped in them, and I swirled it around, and I rolled those toilet paper rolls in the shaving cream with the color, and so it kind of made a little tie-dye effect. It wasn't real noticeable, and I squished those ends in on either side, so it kind of made a little box to hold something. And then I put lifesavers in it that were packaged. Made sure first, before I did all that, I actually took all the toilet paper rolls and I sprayed them with Lysol just for good keeping. But you can actually also, if you don't have toilet paper rolls, that you've saved and you need them, you can order them online as well that are just cardboard like that. But I actually had saved a bunch and had some people give me some. So I made sure they were all clean, and I put some packaged lifesavers in there and then packaged them up kind of like a little present and put a sticker on them. And they were giveaways that I called what did I have on them? I said it was not a life-saving kit or something like that. It was your emergency medical kit. So I gave those out yesterday. I had more of them left. I gave out yesterday after the expo. And they were really cute. You get a lot of compliments on those because they're so unique. Let's see. Is my internet working better now?
Yes.
Great. Just making sure. Yay. Okay. So Phil was sending me a message. Good. Okay. I thought it was on one internet, but it was on another. So I just changed it up because it's a lot better for Zoom. So yeah, I've done that. I also, it might have been Marlene and I discussed before, you can take the toilet paper rolls and cut them and kind of from that circle, kind of squish them down into what do you call it? An oval, not an egg, but kind of more of a, with ends, and glue those together, and you can make some beautiful pieces to put on your wall. You can spray paint them. You could leave them like they are, but they look like metal. I have not done that. I'm going to do that one day. I actually have a bunch saved, and I'm going to do that one day. I need to get some spray paint because I think it would be really, really neat looking if you made it for whatever color room you had to decorate. But I would really like to do that.
Spray paint what?
This is if you use toilet paper rolls, you can cut them and kind of mash them down from a circle into well, I guess you could leave them in a circle depending on what you're making, but you just glue them together around the edges and you can make some beautiful pieces to put on your walls and decorate them with flowers or whatever you want to put on them. And they make some really neat things. And they're light, of course, because they're toilet paper rolls. And depending on what you put on there, it's going to be a little bit heavier. But when you put them up on the wall, it looks like something that you've bought at the store that's metal. They're really, really neat looking. So I haven't done that, but I have every intention of doing that. I have a lot of intentions and my brain doesn't turn off. So if y'all are anything like me, you have all these great ideas. I see Catherine's going, yeah, pick me. That's me. Yeah. My brain doesn't turn off. So my hands don't work nearly as fast as my brain. So that's usually my problem.
Do you have a site on Pinterest that you like for that kind of ideas?
Do I have what?
A site on Pinterest that you like for the toilet paper idea?
I don't know that I have toilet paper things on there, but I do have a Pinterest and, and I go on there a lot and I'll save some things, but it's such random things sometimes. But certainly, and you can look for me on there. I don't know if I have any toilet paper things on there, but I have used them. And again, I've looked up a lot of things on them because once I started looking up some novel things, I started seeing others, and it kind of, you know how it is when you go online and you look up one thing and then you get carried away. And okay, well, that's what happens on Pinterest. You had to keep me off Pinterest because I could stay on there for days. Once I get in, I got to have a little self-discipline, and thank goodness I don't have any more free time than I do, or I'd be on there more, I bet. So Yeah, I get a lot of ideas from there, but I find that everything that I do ends up much different than what I've looked at. So I can't really say, you know, I might get an idea from one place or another, but generally my stuff's pretty novel because I don't think I can make it to look like somebody else's. I don't think I can match somebody else's. So I really have my own version of most things. Sometimes it's just because I simply don't have the talent somebody else has. And sometimes it's because I'm winging it and I don't really have personal instruction and I'm just trying to figure out how they did something. So I don't ever want y'all to think that I am some superstar expert at any of this. I take what I find around me and I try to do something with it. And I'm doing exactly what any of you all can do. And probably a lot of this you can do much better than I can. So, but either way, if you ever look up online, like a hashtag crafty nurse mom, that would be me. So I had this idea today and I'm going to share my screen because it's not something that I could do right here in front of you. I'm limited because if I have to have anything that dries, I can't sit and wait for it to dry while y'all watch because that's number one, it's kind of boring, but I can't get everything finished, of course, in an hour's time. And it's very difficult to make sure that it's in front of a camera. So I did take some very good pictures and I'm not finished with this project. I'm going to finish it here with you, but I wanted you to see step by step what I did. So I'm going to share my screen and show you the pictures that I kept. Okay, and I want to make sure that you all can see. Can you see my share screen, the picture on there?
Yes.
Okay, so let me start there and kind of explain. So this is a black and white version. I was testing out different color schemes in black and white to see what I wanted to use. This is a picture that I kind of snuck in church a couple of weeks ago of my teenage daughter. And I'm an old mom. I still have some teenagers at home, so y'all don't judge me now. And my mother, so it's her grandmother. And they were sitting in church and listening and all. And I just kind of snuck that picture. My mother, that's my mother. She'll be 84 in July. And understanding she's not been back in church for long. And that is not strictly because of pandemic. That is because she has been in very poor health. And she probably lost about 40 pounds. And she truly thought that if they didn't find what was wrong with her, that she was going to die. And so we finally, with persistence and a lot of digging and a lot of tests and hospitalization, we finally got the right diagnosis, got her on the medicine, and within 24 hours, she was doing so much better, and she has really turned around. So we're very grateful for this. So it's kind of nice to see moments like this. So I snuck a few pictures, and I thought, I wonder if I could make something for Mother's Day that would be a special something to give to my mother. When you are 84 years old, your adult children and your grandchildren have no idea what to give you for gifts, because guess what? At 84, you probably don't need anything and you buy whatever you want. Just a guess. But if you're like my mom, even gift certificates go unused. So this is the picture that prompted me to get my wheels turning. That is the picture in color. And actually that's a vivid print. It's kind of got that where you change the filters on your phone, because I took these with my iPhone in church. And I kind of chose this vivid, I kept thinking I was going to use the black and white, but because of some of the other things in this that I decided and came up with, the red actually looked better. She happened to have on that red sweater. So that's the picture. And it wouldn't be meaningful to anybody except for the two of them. And maybe mom, me. So this is 3 pieces of wood. Now I have a huge collection of wood pieces that have been given to me that weren't used, that somebody was cleaning out of an attic. And I've got hearts and all kinds of different things. But I settled on this and I painted them white. Okay, so it's just regular wood pieces. I stuck 3 of them together to look kind of like a picket fence, and I painted them white like a white picket fence. No reason that I chose white, except that I had white. I have some very old white paint. So when I was painting it, it was pretty clumpy because that's how old it is. It was not great, but these are just simple pieces of wood, nothing special. They were already cut because I don't cut wood. I don't cut out shapes. You know, if I'm going to use wood and I'm looking for something specific, I'm going to have someone do it for me, or I'm going to have to buy it ready made. But this is stuff that I had in a big trunk full of wood pieces. So my thought was to decoupage a picture onto this, but with some background. So this is kind of what I was looking at using. And I was still debating over whether I was going to use the black and white picture or the color one. I had to trim the pictures to fit because they were 4x6 pictures and they were a little bit too big for this. So I actually had to trim them up a little bit. And this is what I decided to do. That gingham checked is decoupage paper, actually. And now it says on the box is decoupage paper. Don't ask me what the difference is between that and any other kind of paper. It was a box of stuff that was given to me by my former next door neighbor who was cleaning stuff out when she went to move. And one of the things she gave me out of this craft stuff was a big box of what was referred to as decoupage paper. So I picked that out. Picked a couple of them out, and my husband actually decided that this is the one he liked. So we've all kind of had a hand in the process here. And I decided I was going to cover the front sides of the picket fence with this decoupage paper. So I just simply traced around it, cut it out, and took the Mod Podge glue. And I'm going to show you all these parts. You'll see all these parts in the pictures, and I'll show them to you if you're not sure what those things are, because it's stuff that you'll commonly find at the store. But I just took the Mod Podge and glued them right on there. It was pretty easy. Okay, there's the Mod Podge glue, and that white bottle is actually the old paint that I used on here. And it's just apple barrel white craft paint, acrylic paint. So got those glued on there. If you notice my fancy pie pan, it's really good for glue. It's also good for paint. I save all these things to use them because they can be thrown away. But yeah, I said, Catherine, I appreciate that. You're like me. So I had another pie pan, and it's actually on the table here with me, and it's so covered in glue, but it's got dog hair all in it. I had to change pie pans because it seems like the hair from my dog Bo seems to end up in the glue. So I got a fresh one this time. Okay, so if you've done any decoupage, you know, you glue that on, but you also put glue on top, and it creates a seal. It creates a kind of a coating on top of it that's really nice. So that's just more of the Mod Podge glue that I used to glue that decoupage paper down. I just put it on top of it. Now I also did go back and put Mod Podge all over the wood on the back sides and everything. And that is simply because it kind of creates a nice barrier and some protection. It's not something you have to do. It really doesn't change anything in color or anything, of course, because it dries clear. You can see it right there because I'd just done it. But I like to coat stuff in it because it provides a really good protective barrier. So that is just painting. I used a sponge brush and painted on there. You could use a paintbrush or whatever you want to. I like these sponge brushes. They're easy to clean. And I did all three of them that way. So then I added the picture. I decided on the color one. Really because it kind of matched the red, and my husband voted on that too. So I added a good amount of Mod Podge to put on the top, and you can kind of see it's thick there. So it took a little while for that all to dry, and I actually used a hair dryer to dry some of it. There's also what's called a heat gun. I don't own a heat gun. Might be nice to have one, maybe Mother's Day. But I used a hair dryer to kind of make it go a little bit faster because I was just actually doing this just before class. So this is obviously not a project that took a long time. Although I painted the white late last night, The rest of this I've done just in the last little while. So you can appreciate that it really doesn't take a lot of time. Okay, so in the meantime, you can see that back there, I had coated that pretty well, and I was letting it dry there. And I want you to understand, I did not glue those 3 pieces of wood together at any point. What I did was put them right together like they would be, and then I put all the glue on top, but I did not glue the wood pieces together. And that's kind of key to remember here. Okay, so while that's drying, I certainly didn't want to bump it or move it for any of it to come apart, because the picture is laid, of course, on top of it, even though the 3 pieces underneath are separate. This piece of ribbon is actually something that I believe came on a package maybe at Christmas or sometime since Christmas. It hasn't been in the house long. Don't remember, but I saved it because I really loved it. I thought it was beautiful. So I saved it and thought, I'm going to use that on something. I'm going to make a point of it. So I decided I'm going to make a bow out of this and use it on this project. So this is, you see the needle sticking out of it. I kind of bunched it up and I actually stitched it in the back. I could have used some wire or whatever, but I happened to have a needle and thread handy. So I actually stitched it in the back, and you can see that that's wired ribbon. So it's kind of stiff. I did trim the edges and all, and you'll see it, but I stitched it back there just to form a cute little bow, nothing fancy. Of course, I was working with what I had, so you can see the finished product of the bow. I used some pink ends and just made more of a decorative end, and one part of it probably needs a little more trimming, but that's okay. Actually, it will trimming. So then you can see I got the hair dryer and decided I was going to get that dried before it got much later, because this was just before class. Hang on just a moment.
Jennifer, sorry.
Yes.
I got a question here from Catherine, and she asked, does it dry shiny?
It dries with a little bit of a sheen to it. You can tell that there's something there, but it's perfectly clear. Can you bring me the pink and shears? Pink and shears that cut like this, you know, the zigzag. They're on the table in there. I'm just having someone bring me my pink and shears because I'm going to touch up a little bit, and I didn't have them in here. Yeah, it will dry with kind of a sheen on it. And now I use the Mod Podge, just the matte kind, but there is some kind that you can buy that is a high gloss type stuff, so it's shinier. So there's different types. Mine that I bought is just a Mod Podge matte because I use that on a lot of things, but there are several different types. So yes, you see that there's something on there, but it's not real noticeable. It just looks like it's a polished product. So I dried it, and this is the other side of it. I wanted you to be able to see that that's the back side of it. And my, oh my gosh, what do you call it? I'm having a senior moment in my senior years. My cutter, my knife, what's it called? Somebody help me here.
X-Acto knife.
X-Acto knife. Thank you. Look, I'm drawing a blank. It's my X-Acto knife. I also couldn't find it when I went to use it. I had to find it. So couldn't find it, couldn't name it. So I started to cut through the back side in between, and because I wanted to cut the picture. I know that sounds strange, but I wanted it to be that way. Well, I quickly decided that cutting it from the back was not going to work. So I ended up doing it from the front and separating. So it looks kind of like a fence. And then sometimes for some people, that's a hard thing to do because you think, oh, I'm cutting the picture. I don't want to ruin it. And you do have to be careful to cut very precisely, like make sure that you've made the decision you're going to cut and cut all the way through. So you don't have a problem messing up the picture. You have to make sure. And there was a layer of glue there too. So that made that picture a little bit thicker, but I carefully cut in between. And so this is what it looked like when I was finished cutting. Now, after this is when I actually added some Mod Podge to the back sides of it, just to give it a little coating, just because it was easier then. Okay, that's in my backyard right now. Sorry, that's a snake.
Figured that.
we just found him in the backyard a few minutes before I came on here. Sorry. Okay. So I'm going to show you where we are at now and see if I can move my camera to do that. This is always the challenging part. Okay. Can we see that okay?
Yep.
Perfect. So this is what we've got so far. And I'm looking at my ribbon, and because I'm OCD enough, I'm realizing I need to cut this one different. So I'm going to do that. With my pinking shears. And I think y'all might give me some feedback. What I'm going to do is take my hot glue gun and put a pretty thick layer of hot glue in between so that when this dries, there is a little tiny space in between. What do you think?
Yeah, that's better. A little farther apart.
Well, I don't know how, well, I could put a pretty good layer of hot glue.
Yeah.
I might have to
That's good.
bring me a little more hot glue though. And then add a little decoration, a little bow on the top.
Yep.
And this will be a standalone. You don't have to hang it. You can stand anywhere. It will be a Mother's Day gift for my mother. What do you think?
Yeah, it's cute.
Okay, I'm going to find a little more hot glue here. And I'm using the really, really, really hot glue gun. So I don't necessarily recommend it for everything, but it's what I have hot glue for. So it's one that gets extremely hot.
Ooh.
It might work better for this. And if it doesn't, if it comes apart, if this hot glue does not turn out to be the best idea, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to peel all that hot glue off and
Yes.
probably use some wood glue because it is wood. I just thought it would look kind of cuter if it has a little space in between it. Yeah, you can see how hot this is. It steams pretty good. I've never done this before, so y'all are seeing it first. My crack might not be quite so big in between.
2 days later. Oh, it did. Here's.
I think that's going to be about the biggest crack I can get in there with that glue.
That's the summer entrance.
What do you think?
It's all collapsed. Looks good.
I think it looks very nice.
Okay, so I'm going to take this one so I can leave that one in place. Put the hot glue on this one. And I need some more. I like ideas where you can take something memorable or special in some way, like this picture, and make something into it. And I know a lot of y'all have seen some of the things that I've made out of sermon notes simply because I've made so many of them for a friend of mine whose father was a preacher. I think those are great projects because they're so meaningful to her and her family. And they've been so fun to make. That's a lot of hot glue. And you want to make sure that the picture lines up. How's that? We think that looks right?
Absolutely beautiful. I
Okay.
love it.
So then I think we will probably hot glue as well the bow. And I debated where to put it. I think I ended up liking it in the middle. I don't know. I'm gonna let y'all take a vote though.
I like it on the side right there.
Yeah, the
Yeah, if I
side.
put it over here, it kind of
Yeah.
covers up some of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Side. The side.
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, side.
I'm wondering if I put it on the side, should I hot glue it out of the way of the picture?
Oh,
Something like
yes.
that,
Yeah, away from the picture. Yeah.
so that it's not covering, because or else it would be just like right there.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't want that.
So you like it like that instead of like that?
Yeah. Well, I can't
Yeah,
see the
on the
top.
side.
I can't see the top too well. Can you move it back a little towards you? Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
So maybe at a little angle or just
Yeah.
straight up
Angle.
at an
That
angle,
angle. Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Definitely
All right, then that you voters got it. That's what we're gonna do. And then I'll see if I need to glue. The fortunate thing is this is wired ribbon, so you can kind of bend it for it to stay where you want it to.
Mhm.
These pieces you can kind of bend up out of the way and they stay. So I may not have to actually glue it.
Wow.
What do you think?
I think it's absolutely
Turn
beautiful.
it around. I want to make sure because that hot glue in between might still be not quite finished. Can you see?
Mm-hmm.
Cute.
I love it.
Now that
Really
was really easy. This is about to have a hot glue gun in my lap. That would be good. So this is the paper that was just decoupage paper, but you could use anything. And quite frankly, if you didn't, I picked wood just because I was trying to decide what to put it on. But I started to use a canvas, like an artist canvas, which you can get really cheap if you don't have any. This is the old paint that I used. It's so lumpy, I'm embarrassed. This is the Mod Podge. And again, this is the matte kind. They have some that's good for outdoor use that you can coat things that makes it kind of waterproof. They also have some that's kind of, like I said, has the shiny sheen, which is great for a lot of things too. I'm going to go in here in the chat too, because I know that I've been busy. Mother will love it. We shall see. Okay, so nothing I didn't catch up on. Okay. All right, first I want to ask anybody have questions about what I did here. And I'm going to also set it up because look, it's dry.
Oh,
That is great.
It's beautiful.
So Jennifer, it has a lot of, your idea is great because it shows a lot of dimension on the picture, on the frame. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. It's very memorable. It's a fantastic gift to give to your mom for Mother's Day.
Thank you. I thank you. I think she'll really like that. And she has no idea I took the picture. As a matter of fact, my daughter didn't know I took it until last night when I showed her the pictures.
oh.
Yeah, I was kind of sneaky.
I have a question. I noticed the Mod Podge didn't make it separate that much, huh? You have to put more. I mean, not the Mod Podge, the glue.
The hot glue.
Yeah, it didn't separate as much as I thought it was going to. Yeah.
No,
it kinda
well,
stuck close.
And I was afraid that if I continued layering that hot glue,
It'd be a problem.
it was going to start seeping down instead of because it wasn't going to dry fast enough with that much of it.
So I guess that doesn't work to do the extra glue. Yeah.
It's actually, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got a crack in between it. It's not huge.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
that side.
But it's noticeable when you're right up here to it. It's
Oh,
noticeable,
okay.
and I think it looks still. I like it. I think it's okay that way. I liked it when I had it laying down. I liked it further apart too, though. So, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good that way. And again, I liked this because it's a standalone. It doesn't have to go up on a wall. When you're 84, your walls are covered sometimes with all the grandkids' pictures and things like that. This is kind of nice if you have good counter space and shelves and things to put it on. And I think it will find a home somewhere because she loves pictures. I think right now that's probably the most meaningful things that she gets is pictures. So, but my other thoughts were when I was debating on what to put it on was I thought about an artist canvas because I use those a lot. And again, you can get those at the Dollar Tree. You can get them at Michael's. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them anywhere. And sometimes you can get a big stack of them. My daughter is, she's Dollar Tree crazy. So every time we go in there for some reason, when she makes me go, I usually stock up on some artist canvas because I use them for so many things. I also debated, and I started this during one other class. I started debating, if you remember using the Valentine candy boxes, and this was something that I began just decoupaging. And I thought about actually putting it here. And maybe she loves hummingbirds, and this is a piece of a napkin, and somehow putting that on there as well with the hummingbirds. I debated it. I had some other napkins that I thought would have made a pretty something. And I thought about using all those. And so you see my head goes faster than my hands, but I finally decided because I have so much wood, I was going to put it on a wooden heart. And I have some larger wooden ones, but the ones that I ran across in the particular bin I had were smaller ones. And in that, I found these. And so I kind of came up with the little picket fence. And I just thought that would be cute. So in looking through all the stuff that I have, my entire plan kind of changed from an artist canvas to a candy heart box to a wooden heart to a picket fence. So through the process, I still used up, the only thing that I did that I went out and actually purchased was I printed the picture. I did not print that at home because both of my printers are not working right now at home. So I actually went and printed this at the CVS up the street. Okay, so Catherine says, what kinds of things do you do with canvas besides painting? Okay, well, I don't paint. Okay, so first of all, I can't paint. I painted those white. That's about the extent of my painting skills. She giggles. I'm so serious. Yeah, I'm not an artist by any means. When it comes to drawing or painting, my family will laugh at my stick figures. It's not my forte. I can create a lot of things, but I do not draw. My canvases will rarely ever be used with actual paint on them. I leave that to people who know how to paint. But I can show you, I do a lot of decoupage stuff on them and then add things to them like quilling, or some of the things that I've shown here before are, Catherine, have you been in this class before? No? Okay. So I have a friend whose father was a preacher, you heard me say, and she had given me the challenge of taking a lot of sermon notes and making them into things that they can actually usefully appreciate and use. And so I did a lot on canvases because they're easy to hang up and they're light. And some of them could be put in an easel. So I use them a lot for that. I've used them for a number of things over time, but I can probably go in here and show you. Let me see if I can find. Oh, let's see. Here are some. I'm gonna go in here and share my screen. Because if you have lots of canvases, this is on an artist canvas, and that's just simply a napkin decoupaged on there. and then the sermon note that happened to be about Christmas in that case. And so I made a Christmas tree and put on it. But that's all on an artist canvas with the wooden, you know. So it's $1 for a canvas, I think. Let's see. That's on a canvas. I think that one's actually on a flat one that doesn't have the frame under it. But that's, again, that's just a compilation of sermon notes, and I added some quilling. That's the same. I think that's a flat one. I really kind of like the ones with the wooden frame in them. That one has the wooden frame. It's another pieces of Christmas sermons and some decoupage and some quilling added to it. And you wouldn't know that's an artist canvas, would you? But it makes for a very light thing. If you're going to hang something too, it's very light. So this doesn't weigh but a little of nothing, the whole thing. That's on an artist canvas. That's more, I told you I have a lot of sermon notes things because I've been challenged to make so many. And every time she brings me, more challenge, she says, I love this one. My family took it. That's more. Those are all on canvases except for the cross on the back that has the blue lines. That's actually rolled recycled paper, and the one in the very back is actually on poster board, not
it's the poster frame, poster.
Yeah, it's not poster board. It's I'm having. No, it's
a poster frame.
Is it cork board?
Is it a frame?
It's not cork board. It is the stuff you can buy at the Dollar Tree. It's poster board, but it's not cardboard.
It's a foam, maybe like a foam board.
Foam board, excuse me. That's what it is, foam board. I haven't seen your moments all over this morning or this afternoon. See, it's not even morning. It's 4:15 my time. So all of those otherwise, and now that, I'm sorry, was that in the last picture? No, this is not. That's actually an old tile, a very large ceramic old tile that somebody ripped out of their house and gave me a stack of tiles saying, I know you can do something with these and you will. So she brought them to my house. I have a reputation.
I consider that a win at my house.
Yeah.
Every time we get something like that, yes.
Yeah. This one is also artist canvas. I did a lot of them on there. That is not. That's actually a wooden cross that came from Dollar Tree. That's a canvas.
Wow.
That's a canvas. That's napkin that's decoupaged on there again. I love napkins. They're so easy to use. And they're so pretty. That's not that. That's an artist canvas. That's a tile.
Now, are these flat canvases the new flats, or
that's beautiful?
That's actually that's on a tile. That's not. And I think I did this for a class where we did the makeshift alcohol ink. I don't have alcohol ink, but I just decorated a tile, and then I added that because the colors ended up kind of matching one of my rooms that I sponge painted. And so I decided to add a little quilling on it, and I just hung it up in the room in a little spot.
Wow.
So you can see the sponging I had done. So yeah, most of the canvases that I like probably using the most are these that have the wooden frame around it. And the reason for that is if I'm using decoupage, what happens is sometimes when you use the flat one, you have to decoupage several layers on both sides because it will begin to warp. And that's okay, but I find it easier usually to use the ones with the wooden frame, but it's certainly not a must. I'll use whatever I have at home. If that's what it's down to and it keeps me from going to the store, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so let me see, any more questions? And so who was here for the bow ties? Marlene was here for sure. Carol Sue was here, I know. Nobody else? Okay. Well, I'm just going to tell you. So yesterday when I was at this event, we were really there. We had this tremendous, horrible, terrible, unheard of history making week in February. Some of y'all are aware, in Shreveport, we had what we call snowmageddon or snowpocalypse. And I'm in the deep south, so we don't have a lot of snow. And generally what we get is ice storms. But we got a solid 7 or more days of freezing temperatures here. And I'm talking, we were in the negative like 4 with the wind chills and stuff for a while. We were 4 degrees. It was horrible. And the problem is, it's not just because I don't like the cold, which I don't. The problem is we in this city, we're not in a position to be prepared for things like that. And what happened was we lost water for over a week. We didn't have water for about 8 days because all of the water lines in town, the water mains and things all broke. We were without electricity and you know, for time to time, but it was pretty bad here. So our city threw together what's called Snowmageddon Plant Swap. And so we went downtown yesterday and I went and I had a table. Again, we gave away stuff from my business really. But people had the opportunity, and this is a fantastic idea. It went so well. People brought plants and seeds that they had to swap with others because we had so much of the vegetation here die because of the hard freeze that we're not used to. And people are having to spend a tremendous amount of money in replanting and beginning again, from bushes to trees. I mean, it really killed a lot around here. So it was a really great idea. So I was down there yesterday giving away most everything. And I had made a whole bunch of the bow ties. And y'all have to understand, let's see if Bo is in. Come here, Bo. Come here. I have a dog named Bo. B-E-A-U-X. Bo. Come here, Bo. And Bo is, he's quite a gentleman. You see, we made bow ties. They got their name because Bo wears a bow tie. And so I had made quite a few of these bow ties. Oh, he sees something going down the street now. Yeah. Go get it. Go get it. So I made quite a few bow ties out of scrap fabric. And yesterday I took a bunch of those with me down there. I don't know how many I had. I had over 100 probably. Okay, Bo, it's gone now. Yeah. So I took quite a few of them and we made these in class. So I made some, look at this. This one looks like it's got leopard skin in the middle, you know, from an old pillowcase. This is, some of these scraps were from old boxer shorts. They were from, you know, everything clean, of course. I'm just going to throw that disclaimer in there. Some of the material, I don't even know where it came from. Some was pillow shams and things, but stuff that was being discarded, and some of it was just scrap material. So nice little bow ties with elastic on the back. You just slip them on their collar. They don't even know they're there, really. And so I took those down there with me yesterday just because I had them, and they seemed, people really love to dress up their dogs. They may not dress up their kids, but they're going to dress up their dogs. And being an outdoor event, we had people bringing their dogs there too. And I took these down there, and you wouldn't believe the number of people that wanted them. So if you are at home and you are not working and you're looking for something crafty to do, this is a great little project. People will buy them. Now I will tell you, because all of mine are pretty much the same size, good for a cat or a dog, a small dog or a cat. I've had a request for bigger ones. So if you were here in my class, take whatever dimensions I gave you and make them bigger all around. Actually, the lady that started this with the Downtown Development Authority that's in charge of that, she has a dog that has a bow tie on every day. And she said she ordered some from Etsy, but the problem was because of the dog's color, when everything she ordered, these cute little plaid ones and all, nothing showed up on the dog. So she has enlisted me to make bigger ones that, because it's a big dog, that are bold colors, just specifically for her. But I had several people ask for bigger ones. hadn't really dawned on me. I kind of was just making them for fun when I started ironing and getting all the pieces together. Let's see. So would you share the instructions? Okay, off the top of my head, instructions, and they're very modifiable. For those little bow ties, it takes 2 pieces of material. I would suggest ironing them first, your material, because if you're like me, you have a lot that's just kind of wadded up. But for instance, just a piece of scrap material. And I cut a piece that is about 4 inches in one direction and about 7.5 inches in the other, maybe 8. It can be a little bigger and it's okay. I see you writing, so I'm waiting. So about 4 by about 7.5 or 8. And then another little piece that's about 1.5 inches one direction, and then 1.5 by 4. And so you have those 2 pieces. Actually, let me grab the pieces that I have made and I'll show you. Oh, I only have some of the smaller ones made. I think I used all my bigger ones because I actually made them. So this is the smaller piece that's like 1.5 by 4. Just a simple cut. I just happen to use Pinkin shears because it keeps it from unraveling some. And my Pinkin shears are a lot sharper than my regular scissors. That's my real secret. So you take those 2 pieces and for the larger piece, imagine this being the larger piece. I would take it and fold it over. And of course, this is a bigger piece. Imagine it as a bigger piece. And you do the same thing with the smaller one. Now, I will tell you that on the larger piece, if it makes it easier for you, you can use some fabric tape, some fusion stitch witchery fusion tape or whatever it is. If you want to do that, you can. But I got to the point I was not using it at all. I was just pressing those 2 pieces down, and then folding it over, the big piece, folding it over into a bow and hot gluing it. I didn't sew it. And then taking this smaller piece, which I have folded over. So I've pressed it kind of down too. I didn't put anything in it. You can glue it shut if you want. I just take it and wrap it around it and glue it in the back for the center of the bow. So that would be the center of it. Now, when you're squishing that together to put it around there, you can use a tiny little rubber band if you want to hold it together. I got to where I was hot gluing and the rubber band was breaking anyway. So I really didn't use one, but if you find it easier, then by all means you can do that. And again, I'm using that hot glue gun that gets really, really hot. So your regular hot glue gun might not burn through it so fast. So I put that on there, and then I just cut a little piece of elastic, not very long at all, and hot glued it on the back. Now, if you want to stitch it on the back, you can do that. This one's hot glued. I did stitch a few of them on there. But I think if you hot glue it down really well, it's going to hold really well. Maybe it depends on if your dog tends to want to claw it off. I don't know. Mine doesn't do that. He seems to be pretty content. So anyway, that's a very simple little project. And I had people going crazy over those things. I was kind of shocked, and it was outdoors. And again, a lot of those people that enjoy plants and outdoors, they had dogs with them, or they had dogs at home, or some bought them for their cats. So it's a really great little project. Do you have enough flower and vegetable seeds for this year? Well, that's all questionable. We did gather quite a few yesterday. And look, I'd encourage any of y'all, if your communities have issues about the plants and things that died, because I know we're not the only place that got hit. Y'all encourage your leaders to get something like that together. It was really, really great. There were people there that sold jewelry and things like that too. But I gathered stuff that I'd never planted before. My daughter actually bought a couple of things to plant. And so we're talking about starting a garden, and we haven't done that before, to grow a few foods. So anyway, I think that's a first.
Right.
So,
Jennifer, sorry, Catherine has questions here.
yes, I
Couple
see
of
them.
questions. Right.
We have flower
So,
what to
Mhm.
sell for. Oh, I can tell you what I sold them for because, I really do it for fun, but they were selling yesterday for $3.50 or 3 for $10. Yeah. And that's, again, it's not a lot of material, and this is all scrap. So, and I had a couple of people that donated an extra 50 cents or $1 or whatever, just because they were donating to my nonprofit. But that's what I was selling them for. It's, I think that's probably comparable. I know I've seen some on Etsy and things that are like $20 a bow, and it's a little beyond my league. Yeah. So anybody have any other questions? I hope that this might bring up some ideas for you all, maybe for Mother's Day, or, I think it's a great little gift, because no matter what picture you put on there, if it's meaningful to somebody, it makes a great birthday gift or anything. It's very thoughtful, especially for somebody older.
Mhm.
Any more questions?
I'm not gonna give Hobby Lobby all my money.
Well, you're not going to do it today because it's Sunday and they're not open.
Right.
Yes. And I've forgotten that. I can't tell you how many times that I've gone to their parking lot on Sunday and realized it's Sunday and they're not open.
Chick-fil-A too. That's when I get hungry for Chick-fil-A on Sunday.
And Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby are not far from each other here in Shreveport. It's a double whammy.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, Marlene.
So I have Mod Podge that I use all the time. I want to know, it does say water-based sealer, glue and finish. Can I make something, which I did. I took a rock and I decoupaged a fabric on it. Can I put it outside? Is this going to be safe using this Mod Podge for that purpose?
Does that one say, is it the shiny one?
It says luster, gloss and luster.
I don't know if you put it in the rain, but they have one that you can put through the dishwasher.
Oh, so it's a different one?
They have one that it's for outdoor use, and they have, I don't know if it's a separate one, but they have one you can literally put through the dishwasher because it's made to withstand stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I have to look for
it.
it.
I think what you've got there, I think is the same as me, except for the sheen that it leaves. Mine's a matte and yours is a gloss. So
same thing.
Probably, if you're going to put it outside, I would probably look to get the other type, or else some kind of sealer that's waterproof. A different brand, but they do have the Mod Podge. I like the Mod Podge because they sell it in big buckets. They have some bigger than this. I know this one's just about empty, and I've bought another one, but I haven't opened it yet because I try to use up what I've got. But they sell it in a really large supply, and I tend to use a lot of glue.
Right, you need the big one.
Right.
I just have the small one. Right.
Yeah, and plus I use these big ones to pour into smaller glue things, like when I'm doing quilling and I have the little needle point type tip on a glue bottle. I have to divvy it out into different bottles, so I don't always use this, but when I'm pouring it in a pie pan, it's easier just to use that.
Oh, right.
But and anything will work. But if you specifically look for the kind that's for outdoor use, the Mod Podge is probably one of the most known brands that you can get at most stores. Like you can get at Walmart. You don't have to go to a craft store.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
I don't know what the other stores have. I don't know the extent of what they have besides the Mod Podge at places like Walmart.
Oh,
and some cities don't have big, stores that are craft stores. They only have maybe a Walmart. So
yeah, we have a Michael's. I go to Michael's.
Yeah, and we have the Michael's and the Walmart, and we have Hobby Lobby and all that. But some cities are kind of limited to a Target or a Walmart type grocery store place because they're just not as big. So
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody else? I appreciate y'all being here. I've enjoyed it once again, as always. Everybody good?
Time
Yes,
goes
I
by so
enjoyed
fast.
it.
Enjoyed your
I think it's a
class.
matter of just taking the step and just trying stuff.
It
know,
is.
Yeah,
It
because I got
is.
some glass rocks, I got some other things, but I have nothing in my mind. But some tell me if I just get this to messing and working with it, it'll develop.
And
into
if
something.
you are on the internet, you can always put in what it is that you're working with into something like Pinterest, and you can come up with some amazing things, or just Google it and you'll find some amazing things that people have come up with. And I think it's pretty inspiring. And that's the hope here, is that, when you see something like this, I don't expect you to make this, but if it inspires you to do something that's meaningful to somebody, and, I spent no money. I spent 28 cents on a picture. And that was it. And that's only because my printer wasn't working, or I would have printed it at home. But I had all this stuff. So I was trying to find what I could use at home. Now, you're not going to have the same things as me, but if you can do that and put together something that's meaningful like that to somebody, I think it's all a win. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I encourage you to come back next time. I know we have another class on, I don't know, May the 4th or 5th or something like that. But I'm pretty sure May 4th or 5th. By all means, come back, bring me what you made so I can see and I can share in your creation, because you guys inspire me often.
Very good. Okay. Thank you very much.
Marlene says, do you have suggestions for plastic lids? I got a lot of them.
What is the name of your next class?
My next class is actually tomorrow, and that's a dementia education class. The next craft, and then I have a couple of
Really? Dementia education?
The next craft class is on the 4th at 11 o'clock Central Time. Yeah, tomorrow morning I have a dementia conquering the challenges of caregiving. That's a great class, and so I have to get back to my nursing hat.
Yeah, I'm taking care of my brother. I think I was in that class.
Good. Hopefully you gained something.
Challenge. It was really, really good too.
Good. Thank you for saying that. And Marlene, suggestions for plastic lids. Somebody else asked me that in another class recently, and we talked about it a little bit, but I'm going to have to come up with something really good, because you're the second person that's brought that up. So maybe we'll do that in another class when I can get my thinking cap on. All right. Well, y'all have a great rest of your Sunday, and be sure and look for my email and go and give us some feedback on Get Set Up. And thank you, Phil, for helping us out. Appreciate it. And I'll see y'all next time.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Bye.